I started acting when I was 4 years old. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I was a real precocious kid. And I kind of got discovered by a manager, and my parents weren't really excited about it at first, but I was. And so it was very much like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. And I would go on auditions and actually book them. And so it kind of took on a life of its own. And I didn't know how important she was at the time. It's not until, you obviously time passes and you gain a little perspective on it. And now I know how important the show was and how important that character was, because I've had middle upper class young black women who are my age come up to me and say, I was made fun of all my life, and because of your character and because of Fresh Prince, I finally saw somebody that was like me with my experiences, that is no less living the black experience, but living it in a way that is never portrayed. Black actresses, just like any other minority group, you could be talking about white women, you could be talking about Asian actors and actresses, Latino actors and actresses. There's definitely typecasting, because the way stories are told with certain archetypes, meaning the hero is defined as a certain way, the heroine is defined as a certain way. And if you look at the history of television and film, part of what's exciting to see as time goes on is the evolution of those archetypes, or the widening of the possibilities. So for black actresses, for example, the idea of the mammy, that's an old archetype that's been around for a long time. It's actually still around. The archetype of the black female that's overly sexualized, that's a particular archetype. And then you have more kind of, I don't want to use the word violent, but non-violent archetypes, which are the girlfriend, or the best friend to the white female character who is really the heroine. But the best friend is there not as a character in herself, but she's there to actually flesh out things about the white female character that hasn't been done in the writing for the white female character. So all those things, yes, like we're all stereotyped in terms of the stories that we're comfortable telling. That's why when films or television shows come out that break those boundaries and force new archetypes into our perception, that's why they do so well. Like movies like Crash, or even the shows like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I was on. The Cosby Show did that. They're literally smashing preconceived notions of what we think these people are, black people or white women or Latin people or Asian people. So yeah, we're definitely stereotyped, but we're all stereotyped. That's the crazy thing. You say that there's progress, there's still a reason to be frustrated, because progress, it comes in waves, and you take 3 steps forward and then you have to go 4 steps back, then 2 steps forward, then 2 steps back. It's like this constant process of, you think, in the 90s, for example, all these black shows on television, oh my gosh, we did it. They're hit shows. Look, they're known by everybody. They're seen by everybody. They make tons of money. Everybody knows this, right? And then right after, this spike in the 90s, there's like a total swell backwards where there are no black people on TV at all. And now we're just getting to a point where, black shows are on the air again. Although they're cable, they're not necessarily network shows. It's like this move. But I do think progress is being made, but there's still so much convincing to be done. Eternally optimistic. It doesn't matter how many auditions, and I've realized this about myself, it doesn't matter how many auditions you go on and you're rejected. Like, no. Oh, I was at it was just it was me and this one person, and no. every time you get the call for the next audition, you're like, I bet this one's it. Like, you're so illogically optimistic. I mean, any kind of rationality would tell you, like, stop doing this. But there's always that, I don't know, it's weird. There's always that hope. I have different ways of thinking about auditions. Right now, the way I think about them is it's a performance, just like any other performance. You know, if you could be performing in a small box, black box theater, or you could be performing on a film set, you know, a Disney film set where there's millions of dollars involved. It's still a performance. Your work isn't going to be any different. So that's kind of how I think about auditions. But it's just a weird thing to, like, go in a little room and ask somebody to love you. Is basically what you're doing every time. I am Tatyana Ali, and I am a Black actress.